What's up, everybody? This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United, aka Oakland Latinos Unidos, on here with a new video for you guys to enjoy with a new live. Today is live with Jay, number 77. Sorry, my phone was on. So this is live with Jay, number 77. Today being Tuesday, December 27th. Hopefully, you guys had a Merry Christmas and you got to spend time with your family. I just had a cool time. I spent time with my family. I also played a few gigs that weekend, so I had a pretty good holiday. But today we're gonna have a guest. He is a teacher, an author, and an artist from Sacramento, California area. His name is Ricardo Ignacio, and he's gonna be joining us today. And we're gonna be talking about different issues within the Raza community. We're gonna talk a little bit about his history, who he is, why does he do what he does. You know what I mean? His history and what got him into rap, what got him into writing a book, and all that good stuff, and also what um what happened back in that was what I think April when the shooting in Sacramento, the mass shooting where several people were killed. How is it his name got involved in that shooting, and how some people were going around saying that he got killed in that shooting. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today, cover a lot of issues. So be sure to press the like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to let people know about this live. Be sure to donate any super chats or anything to the Cash App and help out the channel. And without further ado, let's see if Homeboy is on here, and I will put the link for he could join me, and we should have a cool conversation. So what's up, Esepeda? What's up, Lucrative Sounds? What's up, Sam Boy? What's up, Oaklander? West Oakland in the house. Sam City. So I just posted the link for the StreamYard. If Ignacio's on here, just go into that link and follow the instructions, and you'll be directed to me, and we can start the interview. But for sure, hopefully you guys had a Merry Christmas and you have a safe New Year's. I got a gig on New Year's, so I'm bringing in the New Year's with music. But but yeah, man. Hopefully you had a lot of tamales and pozole. I had pozole for sure. You know what? I didn't eat that many tamales this time around, which is weird. Usually we have hella tamales. What's up, Gato Negro? Let's see if Homeboy's on here yet. Like that, we could get us cracking. But just let me know in the comments if you're in here. Oh, there he goes. So without further ado, our guest for today is Ricardo Ignacio. What's
How
up?
you, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. And you, man?
I'm doing.
Uh, bro, I went to the gym this morning, did a really good workout. And I don't know why, but it drained my energy all day. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I,
supposed to do the opposite.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I felt like just I'm still feeling draggy. I don't know. Maybe it's just the weather. I don't know what it is.
What do you what do you consume uh before and or after you go to the gym?
uh, what kind of? You mean like what do I eat?
Yeah.
I had some cereal before I went, like earlier in the morning, like some high fiber cereal, and then
Okay.
after that I ate some eggs and some bread. Yeah, with some meat. Yeah, it has some meat in it.
You ever heard about juicing? Like when you grab like vegetables and fruits and you put them in a juicer and then you make juice out of them?
Yeah,
You ever
yeah,
heard?
yeah, 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 for sure.
You ever tried that?
A while back, not recently.
Check that out. Check that out before and after you go to the gym.
Okay.
See if that makes a difference in your energy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, other than that, let's introduce you, man, because some of the folks on here might not know who you are, and if they don't, they'll get to know who you are. So give them a little introduction, man.
All right. Well, my name is Ricardo Ignacio. That's my artist name. That's my stage name.
Okay.
Um, and I'm a I'm a writer slash author. uh,
You're also
musician. Um, I, you know, whether you know it or not, Jose, I was actually involved in acting on
okay.
stage, theatrical acting. I was in plays and stage plays. Um, I was doing all that. That's what I was initially passionate about before pretty much anything else. Um, I was actually involved in that before I started to get serious with the music. Before I published a book, I was actually that doing all that. So,
Okay. Oh,
so
is that
yeah.
why I remember you used to post those, and they were pretty entertaining. You used to post those videos with that girl, and you guys
Oh,
used to be studying. Like, I don't know if you were like a pimp or something like that. It was something like that.
yeah. It was a screenplay that I had written, and we were just rehearsing some scenarios, some scenes.
Yeah.
But this was a screenplay rather than a stage play, and we're just rehearsing it at a park
Okay.
because I want to shoot a short film,
That's cool.
and we're just rehearsing some scenes. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what it was. What you were seeing, that's more or less what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty entertaining. I used to watch the whole thing when you used to post them. I was like, oh, these
Well,
are pretty good, actually.
well, I never posted the whole thing,
Well,
so
what you did post, I mean,
so a
because they were
little bit,
pretty
a little
long. I
bit.
remember.
Yeah. I never
Yeah.
posted the whole thing. It got intense. It got intense.
Yeah, they were pretty entertaining. But I always like to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. So,
Okay.
where are you originally from? So, where were you born? Where were you raised? Obviously, you live in the Sacramento area. How did you end up there? And have you lived in that area the whole time you've been here? Because you told me you were born in Mexico. Well, let's start from there. You
Okay.
were born you were born in Mexico, correct?
I was born in uh, Ejido Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico,
Okay.
and I actually walked my way here illegally
Uh,
with my family, my father, my mother, and I remember the whole way. I was 5 years old, and the reason why I remember the whole way walking here and swimming, crawling under the border,
yeah.
is because it's just something you don't forget. It's
Yeah.
something impactful. It's a journey that there's no way you're forgetting something like that.
Yeah.
So, but to answer your question, um, I first arrived to um, L.A., Los
Okay.
Angeles. So first arrived to L.A. and then just for a little bit Modesto,
Okay.
but then I ended up here in Sacramento, and this is where I started going to school, where I graduated, and so yeah, Sacramento's been where I was raised pretty much.
What part of Sacramento, if you don't mind me asking?
The South, the South.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know if you knew this. I went to high school. I lived there for 3 years. I went
is
to
that
high
right?
school in South Sacramento. Yeah, I went to Hiram Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's the school you went to.
No, but yeah, I know I know the school.
It
I
was
know the school.
interesting, bro. It was a cultural shock coming from Oakland, from the Bay Area, and then moving to Sacramento, not knowing anyone. It was different, bro. It was completely a whole different environment from what I was used to. Even though it was only an hour away, it just was different.
Um, more or less, in what ways was it different? More or less.
The attitudes were different. Oakland, Oakland, if you've been to Oakland, people from Oakland, we have a unique attitude, bro. We have a
Yeah.
unique way of doing things, and we have kind of like this view, like we're really deep in the game, and we don't like suck as shit, and just that whole Oakland. I don't know the best way I could explain it. The Oakland game, and when I
Hmm.
went to Sacramento, they was on like a whole nother trip, bro. It was
Yeah.
like they were like, oh, you act black, you talk weird. Why do
Mm.
you say blood? Because I used to say, what's up, blood? Because we don't have Crips and Bloods in Oakland. So blood was just like saying, what's up, homie? and just things like that where people were like, and then the why do you talk black? I got a lot of that too at that time. I don't know now how it is in Sacramento, but that kind of stuff I would get from time to time.
Well, what year was it? Like around what?
Oh shit, I'm 45, so this was from
Oh, so
92. And
this was in the early '90s then, or
yeah,
so.
so this is from 92, and then I came back to Oakland in early 95. So I was there for
Oh,
about 3 years.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh
that was the
yeah,
first time
oh
I ever
yeah.
heard about Sacramento rappers. I didn't even know they had rappers in Sacramento. I started hearing
Okay.
about Brother Lynch and Sivo and
Mhm.
X Rated, and I was like, oh shit, they got rappers up here.
Mhm.
So yeah, because I grew up on Too Short and MC Hammer and Dangerous Game and what was popular in the Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It
back to
makes
your
more sense.
story. We're talking too
No,
much about me.
no,
Everyone
but
on
it
here
makes
knows my story. um, you don't, but I'm giving you little snippets. And
but it makes more sense though. It makes more sense that it was that year that you experienced being told that you're acting black and
black,
stuff
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
later on,
yeah. I know.
uh, now it Sacramento and Oakland are very similar now.
Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people from Oakland moved up there, and at the time there weren't as many people from the Bay up there like there is now. Like at my school, there was maybe only like maybe 10 of us who were from the Bay Area that I could remember. Everybody else was just Sacramento.
Hmm. Okay.
Or the ones there were a few that were from the Bay, but they moved up there. They were so little they didn't remember the Bay.
Mm,
Yeah, so I don't know. It just I couldn't get used to it, bro. And I came back home, bro. That's just basically what it is. I wanted to be in Oakland, bro.
of
Yeah,
course.
you know, it's my home, bro. Even though I don't live in Oakland now, but I'm only 15 minutes away from Oakland, so I
Okay.
feel like I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But what high school did you go to in Sacramento?
I ended up going to several. Um, I ended up going to McClatchy.
Okay, I know
Uh,
where that's at.
I ended up going to Sacramento High School. I ended up going to American Legion.
Oh yeah, I know. I got a funny story about Sacramento High and American Legion, but go ahead.
After American Legion, I went to Kima in the north. You familiar with it?
No, not that one. I'm
No.
actually familiar with North Sacramento.
Okay,
A little bit, but not that familiar with it.
so I went to Kima after, which is the north, and then after that I went to Antelope, which is farther north.
I know where Antelope is. Yeah, that's way up by Greenback, right?
There you go.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
I graduated from Antelope.
Okay.
Yeah. But prior to that, all the schools that I mentioned, I got kicked out of them.
Oh shit. Were you a troubled kid at the time?
Yeah, man. They were all due to fights. But then the Kima one, the reason why I went from going to Sacramento school district schools to then all of a sudden to Antelope is because that final school that I was attending after getting kicked out of McClatchy and American Legion is because at Kima I had a gun in my backpack
Oh shit.
and I got caught with it. So after you get caught with a gun in school, it's a wrap.
It's all bad. Yeah, yeah.
It's over. You're not going to school. So I actually dropped out first.
Oh,
After that,
okay.
I dropped out because I wasn't allowed to go to any schools in Sacramento district, and so it's kind of like, okay, well then it's over then. So I ended up getting two jobs after that. I had two
Okay.
jobs, and I pretty much accepted that the school route was closed,
Okay.
and I just said, I guess I gotta work. And I wasn't. It didn't take too long. It actually was like around barely even 3 months of just me having two jobs where I said, I can't do this. But at the same time, although I said I can't do this, the reality is that there's really no other way
Yeah.
other than the illegal way of perhaps selling drugs or whatever it is that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
options that I had. And so the way that I ended up going to Antelope or being enrolled into Antelope is that prior to me getting kicked out of McClatchy, which was the first school, the first high school that I attended. Prior to that, I there's this guy that had that was called by the school police.
Uh-huh.
That man was called to come try to save me
Oh shit.
from 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 the shit that I was causing.
Yeah.
And so the cop pretty much told the dude, "Hey, this kid he's very intelligent, but he is walking in the wrong direction. Come try to see if you could guide him." And so he tried, but I was just too stubborn. So, forwarding now, I'm kicked out. I got caught with a gun. I go to jail, come out of jail, school's over, going to work. And so one day when I felt defeated that, man, this can't be it. And I effed up. I effed up. I thought about that dude. So I said, let me go pay him a visit to say thank you. Because although you didn't save me, you tried though.
Yeah.
So I want to thank him. And come to find out that he actually was, I'm not going to say exactly because I don't know, but he was involved in that school, Antelope. Like he had a position. He had
Uh-huh.
some kind of power there. So
Okay.
so long story short, I went to thank him, and he asked, "What are you doing with your life?" And I said, "Nothing. You go to school?" "No." "How come?" I told him the story that I just told you. Got kicked out. He said, "Would you like to go back to school?" I said, "Of course." "If you have another opportunity, would you now stop messing around and actually do things right?" "Of course." "All right, tomorrow, come with me. You're going to school." And so that's how I went to Antelope, and I graduated from there.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Because you said you were getting in trouble and you got caught with a gun. So what was it like growing up in Sacramento? What caused you to get into trouble? Were you involved in gangs? Was that a problem? Was drugs a problem? Well, what was it like growing up in Sacramento, like during your era?
So for me, it was never drugs.
Okay.
Um, drugs was never a big part of my life. It kind of, drugs was nothing to me. It never really played a huge role. I never became a drug dealer.
Yeah,
Uh, I sold little bags of weed. That's as far as I went.
I
As
did
far
too.
all that selling crack and all,
Yeah,
never, never. Uh, Sold some weed and that's it. You know, um, but what what was huge, at least in that particular time of me growing up,
uh-huh.
was the gang culture.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
gang culture was huge. Um, I mean, it's still there, but bro, in my experience, at that particular time of my life, of me barely headed towards high school, the gang culture was huge,
Yeah,
huge. I remember my mom, me being a kid, my mom driving me around, and in what it seemed like in every corner, there'd be groups, whole cliques of gang members, posing at the corner before it was illegal to do that, before it was illegal to be
yeah,
in groups. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah,
Like
for sure.
there was groups of gang members everywhere, dude. Everywhere you went, just roaming or just posted at the corners. But you just this was the culture, you know.
And what area of Sacramento were you in at that time? Like what area of South Sacramento, might say?
I'm not gonna say
Uh,
exactly because I don't want to mention gangs,
oh,
particular
names.
gangs and stuff
Okay.
like that, because I don't feel like it's necessary to tell the story. I
Yeah,
don't wanna I don't wanna wake up old wounds.
yeah, I feel you.
Okay, so I grew up in South Sacramento. Um, I grew up around the Oak Park area.
Okay, yeah, I know that area.
Okay, so um, that's the area I grew up in. Oak Park,
Okay.
Oak Park, in the heart. in the heart of everything. Uh,
Hmm.
I, I I moved from Oak Park to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, back and forth, and
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
know
know. I
uh,
know
the
those areas. Yeah.
the first house that I lived in this country was on 21st in Oak Park, like in the heart. Okay, so um, the way that gangs were introduced to me was one time when I was around, I want to believe 10 years of age. I was in the living room. Sorry, in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen, a table, eating what my mom had made for me. Meanwhile, my mom was washing dishes at the sink, right there, very very near where I was. And
Hmm.
by the sink, there was a window to look outside to the front street. So as I was eating, my mom said, "Hey, son, come here, hurry up, hurry up." So I ran over there. She picked me up and she sat me in the sink and pointed out the window. She wanted me to see something out there. So I looked, and this is exactly what I saw. Um, there was a group of gang members who had grabbed another one and had lifted him up. They all lifted him in the air and then dropped him head first. And
Wow.
from way over there to here, we heard the crack of the head
Oh
being
shit.
slammed on the concrete. Now, obviously, my mom didn't know that this was going to happen specifically, but she
Yeah.
knew something violent was happening to this dude. She just didn't know that it was gonna be this brutal.
Yeah.
So when they slammed him head first, picking him up in the air and slammed him head first, and we heard the crack, she immediately like covered me. She didn't want all this to be seen,
Yeah.
right? But whatever the case, after that, her reason for doing this, her purpose rather, was to say, hey, this is what happens. These are the consequences of being in a gang. You make a mistake in a gang, and this is what they do to you. So now, after that, her way of teaching was inflicting fear. So she was trying to make me afraid of gangs.
Yeah.
Her mistake is she didn't know that a lot of the things that frightened me as a kid is what I wanted to become, so that I won't be afraid of them.
Mm.
You
That makes
understand?
sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now, barely a year later, when I entered middle school, one day after school, as I'm walking home, a couple of yards away from the exit of the school, there was a group of gang members. And as I was approaching with my bike, because I rode my bike to school and back. And so as I was riding my bike, the gang members were there, and one of the dudes walked up to me, and I was with a friend. She was my neighbor, across the street neighbor. So
Okay.
she was walking home, and I was pretty much riding my bike next to her at a very slow pace, you know. And so one of the dudes walked up to me, and he put his foot on the front tire of mine to stop me, to stop me in my tracks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he put his foot on my tire and said, "Where you from?" Now, I have no idea what that means. I have absolutely no idea what that means in the gang culture.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So when you ask me where you from, I'm thinking, for whatever reason, I think he's asking me where was I born. So based on his attitude, when he asked, I thought that he identified me as somebody born in Mexico and that it was going to be a problem. And so I said Sacramento. So he says, "Nah, where you from?" And so I said, "Oh, I think he wants to know what school I came from." So I said, which was California Middle School. So I said, Cal Middle School. No, he said, "Nah, where you from, fool?" And so the girl that I was with, she said, "He don't claim anything. Leave him alone. He's just a little kid." And so the dude released, my tire and let me go. And so when we pretty much were far away from them, I asked her, "What do they want?" And then she said they wanted to know if you were in a gang and what and which one. And I said, me in a gang? I'm too little for that. And so the irony is that not long after that, I would have to make a choice of being in one or probably not make it. You
Yeah.
understand?
Or get messed with all the time.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty much how gang the whole gang life was introduced to me. It's just me being 11 years of age, some dude walking up, where you from, and then being told they wanted to know what gang you were from, and that put so much fear in me because I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just a kid, and this is already gonna be an issue. How do I go about this?
Yeah.
So I was scared. I was scared more so because gangs were already there in middle school, man. They're already there. These little kids were already gang members. But when you go to high school, that thing is explodes.
Yeah.
That thing is
For sure.
huge. Like you see a glimpse in middle school, you see a tiny glimpse, but in high school, that thing is just boom. You
And,
know,
and you have gangs from all over once you're in high school.
it's over. Like you
Yeah.
can't even escape them.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do about it. There's no going around it. You have to face it. And
Yeah.
so my ninth grade was basically me walking in the shadows, man, being afraid, and so it affected me in multiple ways. One way is I'm non-existent. I'm a mirage here unless I click up. I'm a pushover. The girls don't care about my existence. They
Yeah.
only care about the popular guys, which are the gang members
Yeah.
with the stripes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. For
You
sure.
know, so I in a sense, my ninth grade, I spent it sitting back, if you will, observing everything, seeing what's what, who's who, and why. So when I identified that this particular gang was the one to be, my objective after that year was over, the ninth grade, during the summer, my objective was to come back and stop being a little punk and man up and start swinging. So in the 10th grade, that's what I did. However, and I hate to put it like this, but during that summer in between ninth and 10th grade, I spent that, and I hate that I'm gonna put it this way, but it's the truth.
Hmm.
Um, I was living with a bunch of drunk uncles
Okay.
who would drink and start fights with me at me being 12, going on 13, and they pick fights with me, and I'd have to be a 12, 13-year old fist fighting with 30-year-olds,
Damn.
30,
Yeah.
35 year olds. And so that's unfortunate, but that helped me come to the 10th grade with the mentality of, why should I be afraid of you 13, 14, 15-year old when I'm already fighting 30, 35-year olds?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So when I came to school, was I intimidated? I was intimidated with the gang element, the gang aspect, meaning if I fight one of you, I got to fight everybody. But I was not afraid of individuals. Like that fear died in the summer. That's literally
Yeah.
all I did the whole summer is just fist fight adults.
Yeah.
So drunk adults, and
Hmm.
so here I am at the school, the 10th grade, and and I walked into school and I was wearing the colors of the gang that I wanted to be a part of, right?
Yeah.
So as I walk in, as I walk into school and I'm wearing colors, like I said, my ninth grade, I spent it being observant, seeing what's what, who's who, who's claiming what, etc. So just being completely honest with you, I came in wearing those colors, and when one of the individuals of this particular group that was sitting right there of the gang that I wanted to be a part of walked up to me, said, "Where you from?" And the gang that I told him I was from was his gang. Here's the thing: this individual was the son of the founders of that gang.
Okay.
So if he don't know you, you're nobody.
Yeah.
So when he asked where you from, and I told him, and the and what I was claiming was his gang, he got insulted. He said, "I don't know you, fool." And I said, "Well, I don't know you either. So what?" And he pointed at one of his homies and said, "Hey, check this fool real quick." Well, I know what that means.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I take my backpack off and I start squaring up. And the dude that he pretty much told to come check me, he wouldn't do it for whatever his reasons. So when he saw that he wouldn't do it, he told another dude, you you go check this dude. And I was squaring up, and the other dude didn't want to either. And this dude was so frustrated and embarrassed that two of his homies wouldn't, put hands on me. So instead, what he did was, you know what? Never mind all that. If you for real from my set, show me. So I was like, all right. I pick up my backpack, I put it on, and as I'm walking down the hallway towards the area that I know is the rival gang, as I'm walking down, I experienced something. What I experienced was the fact that prior to that moment, like I told you, the ninth grade, I was a mirage, a pushover. Nobody noticed me.
Yeah.
Now that I'm here walking down the hall and I have this big old group of guys, these gang members walking behind me towards where I'm going, towards where I'm leading them to, I noticed that the people in the hallway, they're moving because they fear these guys. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do
Yeah.
with these guys. And they're moving to the side. They're noticing, oh, he's a part of that. They're giving me this look that I never felt before,
Yeah.
and I liked it, and I liked it. And so when I get to the place where the rival gang hung out, I turned around and I said, "Who do you want me to knock out?" And then he said, "Whoever you want." Okay, took my backpack off real quick, walked up, and after that, well, that was the beginning of me being a part of that particular gang.
It was the beginning of the end.
It was the beginning of war.
Yeah, for
Of
sure.
war. It was a war. Every day was a war. Like I got in I got in that fight, and right after that fight ended, the school can the school security and all that came, but I fled, so I didn't get caught. So the next day when I came back to school, the next morning, um, one of the homies of that dude that I knocked out was waiting for me at the front of the school. So as soon as I walked up, he said, "Hey, why you hit my homie?" Started fighting, and so it almost became an everyday thing. Like fighting became very regular, very normal for me. It
Yeah.
became nothing. Like I didn't get nervous anymore, type thing. You get me?
Hmm.
So that's how it all began.
I mean, when I was in high school, there were so many goddamn fights every day. You were almost desensitized to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what it
like,
is.
oh, another fight. I think the craziest thing that I seen when I went to Hiram Johnson, when I seen a couple actual race riots, bro.
Oh,
These weren't even gang riots; these were race
wow,
riots.
wow.
Yeah, I think that was probably the craziest thing I've seen.
I never seen one of those.
Yeah, that
No,
was pretty nuts.
yeah, I actually was responsible in the 11th grade for
Hmm.
starting a gang riot.
Oh, really?
I was responsible for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the auditorium.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I grew up in the '90s, bro. When gangbanging was hard, bro. When it was like, and in the '80s too. I got to see the crack era in Oakland. I got to see the gang era in Oakland and in Sacramento too, and in San Francisco and a lot of other cities, bro. And I can tell you that shit was fucking crazy when I was growing up. I had a lot of friends that were gangbanging, bro, but I never got involved. But I kind of tagged along with a lot of them to have backup if something did happen.
Hmm.
But I never per se got involved in any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my brother was an OG from a gang in Oakland, so a lot of people just respected me on that. Like they knew who my brother was and they didn't want to fuck with me. They knew who my brothers were. I had two
Mm.
brothers, and they were crazy motherfuckers. So a lot of people would be like, "Oh, okay, let's leave Jose alone. That's so and so." But I had similar experiences, bro. Like when I was like 12, I was on the our buses out here are called AC Transit in Oakland. I was on the AC Transit, and I was like 12 years old, and this kid, he was older than me, like probably like 15, comes on there. Hey, where you from, fool? I'm from
Hmm.
38, and I know what 38 is. I know that's a
Hmm.
Nathaniel gang.
Hmm.
And I said, I ain't from nowhere, but my brother's from 36. He's so and so. He's
Mm.
like, oh, that's your brother? Oh man, he shook my hand. I'm like, all right, cool. He
Yeah.
left me alone pretty much. So I guess in Oakland, I kind of had that as leverage a little bit.
When you know people, when you're connected, you don't need to be in a gang. Um, you don't need to. I knew a guy also who never had to be in a gang. He was just respected because of who he knew.
Yeah, same with
So
me. That's kind of how I was, bro.
yeah.
And then I was the same one as you, bro. I wasn't getting females' attention. I'm a young kid, puberty, horny as fuck. I want females. So I started emulating those fools,
Yeah.
dressing like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started I started talking more with that pimp swag, and just like I'm in the game, I'm gonna give you eye contact. I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear, and girls like that, and they were like, "Oh, okay. We thought you were a nerd, but there's more to you than that." Because I was a nerd. I've always been a nerd, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm still a motherfucking nerd. but I became kind of like a cool square. You feel me?
And speaking of which, the the little girls at that time that I had crushes on, and they never noticed me. All of a sudden, I would, now that I'm a somebody,
Yeah,
I come to school and they walk up to me, "Hey, Ricardo," like hug me, and
yeah.
I'm
That's what
thinking, this is what it takes.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. It was like there was girls that I thought would never talk to me, and next thing you know, they're like all over me, trying to get me to
Yeah.
kick it with them, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this coming from? And then
Hmm.
I've told this story before. There were like girls of other races, like white girls and black girls, who would try to get at me, but at that time, my mentality was like, I only want a Latina. I don't want no other races. So
Hmm.
I I lost out on a lot of a lot of poontang because I was being stubborn at the
It
time.
wasn't like that for me. I
Yeah,
I wasn't never picky as far as uh the first time I found um I found out that women found me attractive is because I started noticing a lot of white girls liking me.
yeah.
Uh, so it began with realizing that I attract white girls. That's
With
how I
me,
began to, but I didn't start attracting Mexicans, Mexican women until I was in the gang. Being a badass attracted them,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and nothing to do with my looks.
I remember, the first girl that ever hit me up, like just came up to me and flat out said, well, two of them, they flat out said, "Hey, I like you. I want your number." One was black and one was an Italian that acted Chicana.
Oh, okay,
He
okay,
was
that's common.
Sicilian.
That's
Yeah,
common.
and it was weird because I'm like, why are they talking to me? Because I'm used to like girls ignoring me, and next thing you know, they're like, I want your number, I want to kick it with you, and I'm like, where's this coming from? But I was like, okay, that's cool. Well, at the time, like I said, I wanted a Latina, so I was like stubborn.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that changed really quick, bro. Actually, really quick. By the time I was about 19, that totally changed. Yeah, I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna get what I can.
That's
You
fun.
feel me? But yeah, man. So you know, I want to get into that. Like a lot of youth, bro, growing up, whether it was in Sacramento, whether it was here in the Bay Area, you know, I've always noticed that a lot of the raza and the black youth, they always got involved in gangs and drugs, drug dealing. You know what I mean, and or just criminal lifestyles. And you know, there's a lot of things that we can say create that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
You know, colonialism, poverty, obviously poverty,
Poverty.
broken families, uh,
Absolutely.
hopelessness, and a lot of times I tell myself this: there's a lot of kids out there with a lot of talent that can change the world if they really fucking put their mind to it, but they sink so low on these lifestyles and get so fascinated with this BS
Yes,
because they
sir.
feel there's no other alternative that it's wasted talent almost.
Facts.
You feel
Facts.
me? And
Yeah.
and 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 I was going down that route a little bit per se until I went to jail the first time, and I said, "Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like this. I know I'm better than this," and that changed me, bro. That changed me, and you know, I seen my worth. I said I'm worth more than
Hmm.
being some a ward of the state or getting killed by some sucker ass fool out in the streets. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's what made me change because I actually had hope for myself.
Yeah.
You
There you
know,
go.
I always knew. I've always told people on my channel that I always felt like I was put on this world to give a message, but I don't know what that message is, but it's something.
Mm.
You
Well,
know,
I watch your videos, and you always have a message. So you may not, you may feel that perhaps you're still trying to find out what the message is, but I mean, I see a lot of messages in your videos. You
yeah.
know, I've seen a couple of the ones that you have that where you touch upon, when another youth has been gunned down or something
Oh,
like
like
that.
in Oakland or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, you always have, something, a positive perspective, a
it's sad
positive.
because I mean, growing up in Oakland, bro, and I'm not lying and I'm not making this up, bro. And anyone in my comments who's from Oakland will know what I'm talking about. To see a dead body is nothing in our hometown, bro.
Yeah,
We have 100 and something homicides every year, and it's nothing to be proud of. And for a city of our size, I've seen so many dead bodies on the streets of young kids. Like, I've seen them fresh on the street. I've seen them when the police have them covered. I've seen it in all ways, bro.
hmm,
And it desensitized me to a way. And I always felt that that wasn't normal, bro.
yeah.
And it breaks my heart. You know, I remember one time I was driving on Foothill. I don't know if you know where Foothill Boulevard is in Oakland.
No,
And and you know Oakland famous for sideshows.
yeah.
And I seen a dude just laid out on the street, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then later on that night, I found out through the newspaper that there was a sideshow going on, and he was a Guatemalan immigrant, and a car just hit him, killed him, left him there on the street.
Oh, damn.
So, and I seen the guy's body on the street, bro, just lying there.
Yeah.
And it's like things like that just break my heart, bro. That people can be so heartless in my hometown, bro. You know,
People
that's
abuse.
why I make those videos and put a lot of like feeling into them and telling people, look, this is not cool, man.
Yeah, people are reckless. People are
Yeah,
reckless. You know,
yeah.
very
I don't know if
reckless.
Sacramento's like that, but here in Oakland, bro, man, bro, we be seeing some crazy shit out here. We have a saying in Oakland, bro. We say ain't nothing like the town. I don't know if you ever
Man,
heard that saying before.
yeah, I have.
But that's what we say because that's a true statement. Unfortunately,
Sacramento is known also for that
yeah,
element, for that element. People getting shot over here a lot, gang retaliations. Is known for that. Sacramento is known for a lot of gang activity, gang retaliation,
yeah,
uh, um, drug smuggling, gun smuggling. It's big for that. And there's a lot of activity goes on over here every day, and it's a lot of, you know, like I'm sure you're familiar. There's You hear the helicopters, the police helicopters
Yeah,
every night, every single night, and multiple times a day. That's
yeah,
without fail, man. And it just shows you how it never stops.
yeah.
It just never stops, dude. It never stops. It's
Yeah, I mean,
ongoing.
it goes beyond cities. You know what I mean? It can be
Mhm.
anywhere. You know,
Mhm.
unfortunately, where you ever you have poverty or just you have ignorance or just people with hopelessness, you're gonna see that. But
Poverty, though, poverty is a key word.
oh yeah,
Poverty is the biggest cause of crime.
yeah,
Biggest cause, the biggest root of crime. If there's people who are struggling financially, desperate, there will be crime.
yeah, for
There
sure.
will be crime, and there's no way around it.
Yeah, yeah,
And the higher ups, they know this. They
yeah,
designed it this way.
for
They want
sure.
us. They want a certain kind of people, a certain class of people to remain that way. You know, it's all by design. It's no accident. It's not, you know, it's not random. Not random at all. It is all by design. Everything is by design. It's structured this way, you know. So a
I
certain
agree.
kind of people could always remain broken and never are able to rise as a whole. They're okay with one or two of us making it, crawling out of this shit. But as long as it's not all of us rising, after it's too many of us, it's like, okay, now what else do we need to do to get these people back down there? You know?
And with us as raza, what's even worse, like me being half Salvadorian, or even in Mexico, you know, our own governments destabilize our United States. Guys say our government, because I'm from the United States, so
Hmm.
this is my government, whether I like it or not. The government of the United States has destabilized El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala,
Yep.
Colombia, Venezuela, and various Mexico as well. You know, Fast and the Furious, with a lot of different things, the cartels and all that stuff, and that's what pushes people out of their countries into the United States. And they come thinking they're going to find the American dream. And like Malcolm X said, they find the American nightmare a lot of times,
Hmm.
and people don't think of it in that way. The war in El Salvador was created by the CIA, bro,
Yes.
basically. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's facts.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
El Salvador was controlled by 10 families. I don't know if you knew this. 10 families, bro, controlled all the wealth in El Salvador, and they were pro fascist, actually, believe it or not. A lot of them, they were
Yeah.
pro Hitler, pro fascist. Even when Hitler was alive, a lot of them praised Hitler. Yeah, this is facts. And some of these people were Middle Eastern descendants, believe it or not. Yeah, and yeah, these are the people that helped the United States come into El Salvador and destroy it basically, and destroy the people, bro.
Yeah.
My dad fled because of the early stages before the war started. It was already happening even before the war. They were already tripping off people and trying to arrest people for no reason and persecute anyone who spoke out against the government. So yeah, man, that's something that they don't talk about, bro. That a lot of our people came here because the United States has destabilized our governments, and then when they come here, they send us to destabilize neighborhoods that,
Right.
that and poverty and gangs and drugs and take your pick.
Well, what they do mention, what the mass media does mention, is that they only come here to ruin our neighborhoods. But what they
Yeah,
don't conveniently mention is we went over there and ruined their
yeah, yeah,
environments.
exactly.
We went over there to ruin their environments, and after we did so, they come here to see if they could find something better because we already ruined them. See, they conveniently don't mention that. They don't
Yeah,
mention that the reason why we flee our countries is because they're the ones who ruin them. They
yeah,
go over there and strip our resources, and we have nothing. We have
Yeah.
nothing. And sure, the government's there. The governments in those small countries, they sell out. They sell out to the government here,
Yeah.
and so in as a result, it leaves us in ruins, But the reality is that a lot of people don't understand is that the people in control in these small countries, whether it be, Central America, you know, the people in control don't have the best interest of the population, specifically the indigenous population.
Yeah.
So
And the
usually,
black population. There's a lot of blacks in Central America too.
yes, yes,
People forget.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. They have no, they don't have, those people's best interest. Um, and and it tends to be more so, like I said, towards indigenous and as you say, the African descending people.
yeah,
They don't care about, about us, and so as a result, we are a people in ruins,
yeah,
and we escape. We escape here, hoping, as you say, to find the American dream, and we are a broken people. We come from real poverty in those countries, real poverty.
for
It's
sure.
a lot of times, you see people here in this country and they talk about poverty, and you see that they have nice houses and swimming pools in the back. They don't realize that where we come from, like at least me in specific, um, I watched my mom and my dad build our house in Mexico, uh, with their hands from adobe.
Yeah, yep,
So, so the difference in poverty is huge. You come here, and the people that consider themselves poor and ghetto, they're people with money compared to where we come from. So, although we come here and we do live in poverty compared to what's considered really having money here, we're better off here being poor in the standard of poor here rather than the standard of poor over there where we have nothing,
yeah, yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I mean,
So,
when I've been to Mexico, I've been to Colombia. I've been to three Spanish-speaking countries. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Colombia, and I've been to El Salvador because my dad's from El Salvador, my mom's from Mexico, and Colombia. Obviously, I went for music reasons, and yeah, you see people struggling. Like I have a my last trip was in Colombia, and I always tell a story. I went to these people's house. They weren't rich or poor; they were kind of middle, but you could tell they were struggling.
hmm
And they gave me a fat ass meal. And
hmm
I was like, you know what? You don't have to cook for me. I got money. You want me to get? No, 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 no. Come, Jose, come. It's on us. Don't
yeah,
worry about money. It's on us. And
hmm
that was just so humbling, bro.
yeah,
That was so
yeah,
humbling. I was like, wow,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah. And they're struggling, and they're right there. I'm this American from the U.S. and they're like, no, no, come. I mean, they gave me a fat meal, which was probably, I'm sure they spent a lot for that.
Yeah, they have nothing, but yet they'll still scrape to cook you a good meal, though. You know.
Because I basically, the reason they were so nice to me because I basically their daughter, I met her out here in Oakland. She's from Colombia, and she didn't know nobody out here. And I basically introduced her to the music scene, and she made a lot of friends through that. So her
Mm-hmm.
family was really appreciative of that when I got there. And
Okay,
they fed me. They're like, "Oh, come visit us." You know what I mean? So I was like, "Wow, that's hella cool."
that is cool.
That's
Yeah,
that Rasa hospitality.
yeah.
For
Uh,
sure.
to jump back into that story where I left off.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. We went all off
It's all
track.
good.
I
It's
wanted
all
to
good.
ask you, like, from high school, college. Okay, there's three things that I wanted to get to. Let's before after the gang in high school, when you changed, turned around, went to college, and I want to talk about and how'd you get into to rap and being an actor, and then I want to talk about the infamous incident where I found out about you, the
Mm.
whole rumor that you had been killed. So let's go from there. So let's start out after high school into college, or what you did after high school. They got
Well, how about this? During high school, once once I dropped out and got two jobs. At this time, I decided the gang life was not going to be my route anymore.
For sure.
Now, now the reality, see, I notice a lot of people who try to exit a gang, they do so because they now want a better life. They've learned something, or they saw something really bad, like maybe one of their best friends got killed, something along the lines of that. Me, none of that. Um, what I was noticing in the particular gang that I was in was that they were killing each other. They started killing each other due to monetary reasons. Um, one of the things, one of the missions
Which is
that
typical with any criminal organization.
sure, one of the missions that was assigned to me was I had to go pretty much do a drive by uh, on one of our own guys,
Wow.
and I asked why. I asked how I get picked up in a van, get handed a 45. We're gonna go down here. You're just gonna smoke this dude. And when he told me who it was, I said, wait a minute, that's one of us. I said, yeah. I was like, why are we gonna kill this dude? Oh, because he hasn't. It's been 2 weeks, and he still hasn't paid me the money that he owes me for the crystal meth. And so I thought to myself, I I got in this game to belong to a family, if you will.
Yeah.
I, I you know, I come from a broken home where we lack a sense of family. And I got into this gang thinking I found something. But now we're killing each other for monetary reasons, for stupid reasons. We're killing our family, if you will, our family members over drug money. And when he told me this, the reason why I'm going to, it's not an option. I have to.
Yeah.
So I'm in a van headed that way, and I have to smoke this dude. First of all, I can't even say no. Already in the van. I already got the gun. I'm in a van full of dudes that also got guns. There's really no way around it. I have to do this now. But the trouble in my mind was it was not the shooting part. That was regular shit. The trouble was this is going against everything I thought this stood for. You understand?
Yeah.
So I realized very shortly after that night that some of the homies were tripping on me now because of a female that really wanted to mess with me, and one of the homies was in love with her, but she wanted nothing to do with them. She wanted me.
So some hater stuff too.
So so
Yeah.
now so now there's smoke coming my way
Yeah.
because this female who I don't even care about just happens to like me, and she wants to mess with me, and she don't want nothing to do with the dude that's sprung off of her. So now, in a way, I'm in a situation, in a predicament where I'm paranoid that I'm a target of being smoked now
Yeah.
because of something I have no control over, something that I thought was irrelevant. Homies over hoes. I thought that was the
Yeah.
mentality, but now y'all tripping over a hoe type thing.
They weren't game tight.
No, absolutely not. So, you
Yeah.
know, so when I realized that smoke was coming my way, not only am I over here being assigned to kill our own peeps, our own clique, members of our own clique, but now I'm realizing, oh, I'm gonna be one of the ones that they're gonna smoke because of some female.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So see, it wasn't me being afraid of shooting anybody, of how many fights I got, how many times I got jumped. None of that scared me. I knew what I signed up for. But what I didn't know was part of the signing up was, oh, we killing each other? That defeated the purpose of what I thought it stood for. And because of that, I didn't want nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
So, so one night, long story short, I'm walking on the street. My homies pull up in a van, get out. and jumped me, right?
Hmm.
They jumped me, and luckily for me, they only jumped me. But they also told me, next time we see you in this hood, you already know what's up. We're gonna
Yeah.
smoke you. So I went to visit somebody to hook me up with a pistol. This pistol, now I was in a situation where I was a gang member in a sense to defend me and the homies, our turf, if you will, right? But now I got a gun because now I'm trying to prevent from getting killed by my own crew. You understand? So now I'm paranoid as hell, living in the neighborhood, carrying a gun. And so one of these days, I go to school and I got caught with it. So on my way to jail, on my way to jail, I'm thinking, look where all this got you. You thought you were looking for loyalty. You thought you found loyalty. You found something. You found nothing but betrayal. You found nothing but betrayal, man. And that is what caused me to want nothing to do with the gang life.
And that's what I tell some people, because in today's world, you hear a lot about guys who dropped out of gangs, and they have words for this. And I tell people a lot of times you got to realize their story. They leave the gang because of stupid shit like what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Bad calls and people you think on your homies turn on you over like nonsense, over
Yeah,
females, over drugs, over some, they want you to shoot someone over a drug debt that ain't even yours. Like, motherfucker, you handle it if it's your drug debt.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, bro. You know what I mean? Is one of the reasons a lot of people get disillusioned by that, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's
And
it is what it
and
is.
that is the word. That is the exact word. Disillusioned.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is. You thought it was something. Like I said, I didn't mind fighting all the time, having to shoot. It's whatever. That I know what the game is about.
yeah,
I get it. That's not a problem. My
yeah,
problem is once I realized that what we supposedly stood for, it was just a lie. We don't believe in any of it. And
yeah.
now the reality of a gang is me as well as all these other dudes, these youngsters, we're just a bunch of broken kids
Exactly.
coming from broken homes. So we're supposed to be building something that stands for loyalty and love. How do you build something that stands for love when you have absolutely no idea what love is? All you know is hate.
Yeah,
So of course you're not gonna find love here. Of course you're not. It's impossible. It's impossible to find anything but hate, betrayal, and everything that represents brokenness. That's all that you're gonna find in the game because it is built by broken people that lack love and have nothing but hatred consuming them, you know? So that is a gang. It is a people who lack love, who come from brokenness, who have a lot of mental illnesses, traumas. This is what is building the gang. That's why all you see is destruction.
abuses, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. They
Yeah,
come from all that, seeing their mothers get beat down, their fathers in prison in and out, strung on drugs, all those things. And this is and these are the children that are building the gangs. These broken these broken kids, And so, of course, you're gonna find nothing but betrayal and deceit.
so how'd you stay away from your old gang, and just were able to you know finesse yourself around them and do what you had to do to keep going?
Well, I of course, I had to always carry a gun
Yeah,
and protect myself.
Hence why you got caught with a gun at school, right?
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. You know, I didn't have that gun to hurt anybody randomly. To not, I literally got it because I had to watch my back from my own homies. Now
Or so-called homies.
you get me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I ran into people inevitably, and things happened, and I'm here now. Some people aren't.
Yeah.
I've survived. I I was able to hang in there. What I
Yeah.
did, what I had to do, and that's why I don't mention specific gang names and stuff, because I'm not afraid. Um, it's because I don't want to wake up any old problems.
I feel you.
You know, if those people have learned to let it go, then so have I. If they haven't, I also don't want to be the one to trigger that memory by start naming people's names and
Yeah.
certain gangs. No, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Not too long ago, I was gonna go grocery shopping, and I ran into this dude from that gang that back then told me, next time I see you, I'm gonna smoke you. So I
Mm.
ran into him. I walked up to him and I said, he was with two other guys. I was by myself, and I walked up and I said, "Everything good?" And he looked at me for a while. I hadn't seen him since then.
Yeah.
You have to understand, this is over a decade ago. So he looked at me for a while. He knew who I was, and he says, "Everything cool?" I was like, "All right." And that was it. I kept moving. He stayed there. I came out. He was still there with his two. They could have done something. I was by myself, and nothing happened. So I took that as it's over. I took it as it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it is or not, I took it like it's over. You know. So I just survived, and I survived, and I did my best to, in a sense, live in the shadows for as long as I thought I had to. But inevitably, I mean, I still ran into people here and there, and bad things happen sometimes.
I feel you.
Bad things happen, and I survived. Um, and Yeah, that's how it ended. I suppose it's safe to say it never really ended. I just survived so far. you
Yeah.
know,
And then from high school, basically, you graduated, correct?
I graduated at Antelope.
And you said you started working.
Um, After Antelope, after graduating, I went straight to college. Um, I went to try to enroll to college.
Mm.
Um, but I didn't. I didn't attend college in my teenhoods yet.
Okay.
I ended up actually starting college at the age of 24.
Okay.
So it's shortly after I started college at the age of 24 or 23.
What did you study for? If you don't mind me asking.
That's all good. I was going. I was you know, my main objectives was to strengthen my audio engineering skills, my
Okay.
acting skills, Chicano studies, um, and those were my focuses. Is just to strengthen what I already knew I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to. I knew I wanted to make music. I was already recording music, but I just
Okay.
wanted to learn to polish it. At this time, I was already recording music via turntables on blank cassettes that I bought at the 99-cent store.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
remember those. Yeah.
yeah, I was doing that. I was doing that. Um, but I wanted to take audio engineering because um, I wanted to polish up, learn more about the recording aspect. the technical details of it. Um, I also, I was doing, I was taking acting classes, as well as also involved in some plays at that time, some, stage plays. And
That's cool.
I was taking Chicano studies. Um, so these are the things that I wanted to strengthen in, because I wanted to be an educator. Um, I also wanted to make music, and I wanted to act, and I wanted to, write screenplays. Just uh, the whole, writing my own stories, acting in them, all that stuff was appealing to me. I knew this is what I wanted to do, uh, as well as the music thing. So I was pretty much trying to strengthen everything I already know I wanted to do. I just wanted to polish up my talents. So to answer your question, I wasn't going to school to pursue a career.
Mm,
I was going to do what I was going to do without a degree.
okay.
You get me? I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to take I wanted to take classes to polish me up. That's what I was doing. I wasn't pursuing a career. I was just taking classes, literally. That's what my college experience was, taking classes.
That's kind of what my college experience was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's
I
what
can
it was.
relate
Yeah. I just wanted to polish up.
for
Yep.
sure. Because I've always been a natural historian since I was a kid, bro.
Hmm.
Like I'll give you a perfect example. I remember when I seen Young Guns. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
I was like 12 years old, bro.
Hmm.
And I got so fascinated by Billy the Kid, I went to the library and checked out books about Billy the Kid and read. And I was shocked when a lot of the things that on the movie were real events. I'm like, oh shit. So I've always been had a knack for history. So when I went to college, I took Chicano studies, took a few writing courses because I want to write some books actually one day
Okay.
eventually, bro.
Okay.
That's an aspiration I have, but I'm just lazy and dumb, bro. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time because we're talking more about you than me. And and yeah, I just got into a lot of historical things, which is the reason why Oakland Latinos United exists because I was tired of the history of Chicanos and Raza in Oakland has never
Mm,
been documented nor written about. So
mm,
I began documenting it and putting it out there for the people. And a lot of that came from going to libraries, talking to librarians, talking to academics, going to college. So that's the reason why a lot of this stuff is out there,
yeah.
and I have been on interviews and radio stations talking about my project. So that's kind of the gist of what I've done. You know what I mean? And I like doing this Oakland Latinos United channel and a lot of things. And I like music. I'm a musician as well, and
Hmm.
definitely I'm thinking about going back to college to finesse my music and learn about music theory.
Mm,
Yeah, so because I come from a musician, my dad knew music theory, so I would like to learn it.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
okay, so you went to college, you finesse your musical styles. You said you did some plays, uh,
Hmm.
acted as well.
Hmm.
Oh, just a little bit. Let's before I go into what a lot of people in the comments are saying they want to hear about the shooting.
Okay.
Uh, um, just real quick, what made you write the books, and what are the books? Kind of just a little synopsis of what they're about.
So to go to the root of me being a writer, I was 9 years of age when I realized I wanted to write. Um, I wrote my first little novel at the age of 9.
Keep talking. I'm gonna get up real quick. I'll be in here. We just gotta get something.
So at the age of 9, I wrote my first little novel as a project in school. It was a contest,
Uh
pretty
huh.
much, and the school was pretty much having a contest of each student in the whole school has to write, write a story and put illustrations in them. And after you do so, we all gathered in the lawn of the playground in many circles, and read our stories multiple times to all these circles until it was determined who were the three, first places, first, second, third place. Now, I didn't win any place at all. My book didn't win, but the prize that I won was more important than winning a trophy, which was me realizing that I love this.
Yeah.
So after that, just on my free time, I found myself writing stories. And so when I was 17, I was at Kima at the school that I got caught with the gun. Before I got caught with the gun, um, one of the assignments that the teacher gave me was during the weekend, write a 2-page story as your project, your final. So I'm a writer. A writer doesn't write 2-page stories, you know. So over the weekend, I was supposed to come back with 2 pages. I came back with 80,
Mm.
right? So I wrote a whole thick little novel for her, and
Yeah.
I I walked up to her desk, and I laid a package, and she says, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's my homework." Like, which one? All of it. Like, she's like, what homework? Like, remember I'm supposed to write a story, a 2-page story? Well, there it is. She's like, oh, you wrote all this? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So she reads it. She reads it, and she was inspired by it, man. She was
That's good.
inspired. It was autobiography, a semi autobiography, semi. Um, and I called it the footprints.
Mm.
There's a poem out there that's called The Footprints, written by an anonymous person. You ever read this poem?
Mm-mm. I
It's
never
it's
was
pretty.
big into poetry. I'm sorry, bro, but
Okay,
I
it's
wasn't as
okay.
big on
It's
it. But I
okay.
have a lot of homies who are into it, though.
Okay, well, see, I'm not big on poetry either.
Okay.
But this poem is more like a Jesus poem. It's about a man who's writing to Jesus, and pretty much telling Jesus that I've been walking my whole life, and all I see, you're supposed to be with me. I'm paraphrasing, by the way,
Some
but
people in
you're
the
supposed
comments are saying they know it.
yeah. So you're supposed to be with me, but when I look at the sand, all I see is my footprints. So I'm by myself. And then God replies, no, those footprints are mine. I've been carrying you the whole time.
Mm.
So that poem inspired me, and I wrote an extension novel to that. That's how much it inspired me. So when I wrote it, that's the 80-page novel that I handed over to the teacher. And
Oh,
so, because she was a Christian, that thing just blew her mind. It inspired her, man. And so the irony is that although during the weekend I'm supposedly writing a story, I also had an incident where I had pulled out a gun on somebody. So I, I'm working, but I'm also being a being a gang member, man. You
yeah.
know, so it doesn't. I'm talented, but I'm still involved out there.
Yeah.
So I was foolish enough to where once the teacher read it, she asked me, "Is it okay if I show it to other teachers? This is powerful." I said, "Absolutely, go ahead." So she went out to start showing, "Look, my student wrote this. My student wrote this." So she came back, and she said, "That story was really good." And I said, "Okay." And I was like, "Do I have an A?" She's like, "Absolutely."
Oh,
And
that's
then I was
good.
like, "Okay, cool, cool." So then afterwards, she felt this necessity to get close to me, to get close to me, and and she wanted to know, was the story real, because it felt real. It felt like a real thing. It doesn't seem like a made up fictional story. It seems real, raw. And so is this real? Is this about you? More so because the name of the character's name is Ricardo.
Hmm.
So because it is a semi
Yeah,
autobiography.
yeah.
So I said some of it, and she said, "Could you share some of it with me? Some of your life?" it wasn't even 5 minutes of me sharing stuff when she got up from her seat and she started walking backwards,
Wow.
scared. So then she turned around and paced herself to the office, to her little place right there, grabbed the phone, and I didn't know what she was doing. I was like, shortly after, the school police came and they were coming towards me, and I was like, oh. So my pistol was in my backpack.
Oh
So I
shit.
picked up my backpack and I ran opposite of where the cops were coming from to exit, through the back over there and run down the steps. But at the exit of the school, there's more cops waiting for me, and they got me and they searched my backpack and they found the gun and you know. But long story short, the reason why this is relevant is because that footprint, a novel that I wrote when I got out of jail, um, the first thing I did was want my novel back from her because she had it. And so, although I was told to never, I was never allowed to come back to that school, I still came anyway to come tell the teacher, give me my novel back. Because while I was sitting in jail, I realized I'm an author, I'm a writer. That that project that I did, now I know what I want to do in life. And it was more so of the fact how much I impacted these adults. Seeing the effect that I had on these people, I said, that's how I want to affect people for the rest of my life with my writings. So I went back over and I asked for my story back, my novel back, and she wouldn't give it to me. And long story short, I didn't get it back. However, you know, forwarding the time that I went to thank that dude and he got me enrolled in Antelope. So
Yeah.
in Antelope, that my teacher, I told her the story of I wrote this thing and I want to be a writer. So she said, did you really write it? And I said, of course. She said, write it again.
She didn't
Write
call
it
the
again.
police, did she?
Write it again.
No, I'm
Write it
saying she
again.
didn't call this one. Didn't call the police, right?
Right? No, 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 no. She became my friend. She's still my friend to this day.
Oh, that's cool.
She's still my friend. Um, but she says, if you really write it, why are you looking for something that's already here? Write it again. So that's exactly what I did. However, I didn't no longer title it The Footprints. I
Mm.
titled it A Life of Sin, which is one of the books that I published. It was the first book that I published. So I wrote it when I was 17, 18. I rewrote it, that book, A Life of Sin. So you know, a little prior to that, I had a Spanish class. This was in the 10th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a Spanish class, and the Spanish teacher, I was failing that class. I was failing it, dude. And so the teacher, towards the end of the school, he said, do you speak Spanish as a first language? And I said, uh-huh. He said, you're failing Spanish, man. And I said, I'm sorry. And then he
Oh,
said, I said, look, I'm gonna give you one opportunity. One opportunity I'm gonna give you. He said, I want you to write a book. And it could be about anything, but it has to be in Spanish. You write this, impress me, your D will turn into a B. I said, I'm a writer, man. In my head, I'm thinking, dude, it's a wrap. So I go home, I write this little thing, which I still have. I'll show it
mhm.
to you later someday.
Whatever.
I still have it, I still have the proof. Um, and I wrote it, put some illustrations on it.
Shit, maybe you could give me some writing skills because I want to write too, bro. Believe it or not.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that.
For sure.
so, so I brought it to him next day, put it on his desk, just like I did that lady too. I put it on his desk and I said, "Here's my homework." He said, "Siéntate." So I went to go sit down. He's reading it, and the whole time as he's reading it in silence, he keeps going like this. He keeps going. looking at me, right? Like reading and looking, right? And so finally, after he's done reading it, he goes like that. Now you have to understand this is during class, so the whole class is there doing assignments, etc. So everybody, right? So he just says, he says. So I walk over there. And he says, this was a very good story. And I said, thank you. Uh, do I get that? Do I get that B? And he says, it's too good. It's too good. I said, so what? I get an A? And he said, no, you get an F. I said, what? Why? He says, you didn't write this. I said, what? He said, you didn't write this. I said, who wrote it? He said, I don't know. You didn't. I said, why didn't I? He says, this story is too sophisticated for it to have been written by you. And I said, why is it so sophisticated? Why can't I write something like that? He says, because you're a gang member. Straight up. Straight up. So, long story short,
and what was he? If you don't, the teacher, what race was he?
He was from Spain.
Oh, okay, from España. Okay.
Yeah, he's a Spaniard. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I wasn't able to convince him that was mine.
Wow.
At the end, I got an F.
Wow.
Because he took that as an insult, like I was trying to insult him. Like he thought I stole this story from somewhere, and I was
like plagiarizing, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was cheating my way to the B.
Yeah.
And so I got an F. I failed that class.
Wow.
So anyway, back to where I left off, So I write A Life of Sin, and that became the first novel that I published. It's called A Life of Sin.
So, and you've written 2 books since, right?
Well, technically I've written 14, but I published 2 physicals, and then I published a third one that's only audio book. So,
do you have it on YouTube?
Yeah, I've linked it before. You've seen it, I'm sure.
Probably. I'll take it. Send me a link again, bro. I do DoorDash, so I drive around all day, so I listen to different things. So I can listen to it while I'm driving, for sure.
It's called The Fallen Stars by Ricardo Ignacio.
I was gonna make a joke. So it's true that what Cheek said, that Mexican Americans take Spanish and get a B.
That's funny.
But no, okay. So let's talk about the rumor. Lo que todos en el cuarto quieren hablar. What everybody wants to talk about. Right. And then after that, I want to talk about 2 little things that we could end this on what we talked about the other night when you did the little interview with me. But right now, I want to talk about the shooting. When did the shooting happen? That was in April, right, of this year?
April 3rd.
Something like that.
2nd or 3rd, something like that.
So let me give you my synopsis of how I heard about all of this, how I heard about you, why I reached out to you, and then we'll go from there. So at this time, I used to work 2 jobs. I did the DoorDash thing, what I'm doing right now, and then and this is when COVID was still kind of around, so I wasn't doing as much music. Mm-hmm. Thankfully now I'm doing music, so I can do music and DoorDash, so that's how I'm making my living. But back then I was working at a job in San Francisco at night in one of the most infamous areas of San Francisco. Have you ever heard of the Tenderloin? You never heard of the Tenderloin?
You want to know something? Let me pause you. I lived in San Francisco for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, for a little bit, but I've never heard of this spot.
The Tenderloin is in downtown San Francisco, bro. It's like the Skid Row of San Francisco, down there by Eddy Street, Larkin Street, all that area over there, Hyde Street. I'm not sure if you're familiar where I'm talking about.
I lived in what's perhaps no longer considered San Francisco. It's all the way up. All the way up. Huh?
Daly City or South San Francisco?
Probably the South. It's expensive. It was very expensive. It's very expensive. It's because I was roommates with a cousin.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't. Don't think I was very familiar. I didn't get familiar with
Okay.
much. I didn't get familiar. I was kind of just there.
So the Tenderloin is the fucking hood, bro.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like Skid Row in LA, bro. It's like where all the homeless are at. It's just it's a crazy place, bro. So I was working graveyard shift there at a housing tenement, and I just had to make sure like people vagrants from the streets didn't come into the housing tenement. So I was kind of
Mhm.
like doing security basically.
Mhm.
So I used to watch a lot of videos on my phone, you know, because it was actually more slower and quiet than you would think being in the Tenderloin. So a lot of times I'd be on my phone. So I remember one day I'm watching a live and it's some dude from Sacramento, black dude. I don't want to say no names. I don't want to put nobody's names out there. Like you said, you know, you didn't want to put names. I don't want to put names, but it was a blogger from Sacramento. At the time, he was well known. I'm not sure if he's still doing his thing. African American guy. And he was talking about the shooting. That was a big news at the time. It was like all over the it was all over the news. It was like it was everywhere. Even here in the Bay Area, it was everywhere. Everyone heard about that shooting. But this was way before anybody knew who got killed or the victims. And then he I guess this dude kind of had some idea who the victims were. Maybe he was connected to the streets.
Mhm.
And he mentioned your name as one of them.
Mhm.
And he saw, yeah, this artist named Ricardo Ignacio was one of them. He said, that's fucked up, man. I was looking him up and he seemed like a cool dude. He said something like that. And I'm like, huh. So that's just, I'm like, Ricardo Ignacio, I'm going to look him up. So I found you. I found you, I think, on Facebook is where I found
Mhm.
you. And I seen a hella fucking like post on your thing that said it R.I.P. You
Mhm.
know, hell of them. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh shit, he must have got killed. So when I seen that you were an artist and that you wrote books and all this, I'm like, huh, I wonder if I know him. Or maybe he knows people I know. And then we did have friends in common because I know a lot of artists and stuff like that. And we did have some names in common. So I'm like, damn, that's messed up. He got killed, man.
Mhm.
And then I think I seen the how did it happen? I did see the Black Lives Matter thing where they put your picture as one of them.
Mhm.
And then how did I find out you were actually alive? Damn it, I can't remember exactly how I somehow, some way I found out you were alive. So I said, wait a minute, let me check that dude's Facebook again. And I think that particular morning, the boss had asked me if I wanted to do overtime and stay like 2 more hours or something like that. So usually I used to leave at 7 in the morning. So I think you probably had posted that live like maybe in the morning, possibly.
It was kind of the afternoon. The
Maybe it was
afternoon.
already a day old by the time I looked at it, possibly.
Probably. Most people saw it a day later after I did it. Most people.
Okay, and then I seen I seen you tell your story. It was like an hour long, because I seen the whole thing. And I was shocked, bro. Like what you said, I was like, damn. Like you said that people you didn't even know were saying, "Oh, that's my homie." Man, bro, he was hella cool with me, and you're like, "Who the fuck are these people?"
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking like, damn, that's crazy. How did that? How why would someone make up a story like that? That he got killed, or did he do it, or does he want fame? I'm like, this is weird.
Mhm.
Or if not, if it wasn't you, I'm like, does somebody have like a vendetta against him, and they're putting false information that he got killed? So I was like, I was like, man, this is crazy. So I made a video about it. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm gonna make a video about this and get everybody's opinion. And I was like, dude seems like he's doing good. He's an artist and all that. I'm gonna give him a little, you know. And me being a Rasa content creator, I'm like, I'll see if I can reach out to this dude and see if maybe I can help him in any way. I don't know. Maybe if he wants to put his story out there, something.
Mhm.
That's just what I was thinking at the time. So
Mhm.
that's why I reached out to you. You know what I mean? And I told you, hey, I made this video. I'm just curious, and that's all, bro. I'm not looking for nothing. And then you called me back, and we talked at the time, and then I remember you were on the news and you talked about it. So, you know, let's take into account 6 people lost their lives that day, which is fucking tragic, bro.
Yeah.
Over stupidity,
Yeah.
over stupidity, and half of those people were just innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
know, I know, at least 2 or 3 of them were. And how did that happen? Who created that rumor that you were there? I remember you said in your video that you were nowhere near there. You were actually sleeping that night. I believe that's what you said. And
Yeah.
were you even in that area that day? Because I know that area. I know where K Street and all that is.
Nah.
So
I
how did this
was.
all come about?
Well, I was obviously making finishing up a little music video that I was doing for one of my songs, and after I was done that day, I was really tired, man. I had been working on it since the morning, early, and I finished it around 6 p.m. I was trying to trying to finish as much as possible before the sun went down.
Mhm.
So around 6 p.m. is when I was done, more or less. Came home, showered. I was tired. I was tired.
This is the
I
day of the shooting, right?
This is the day before the shooting is about to happen at, they say, around 2 a.m. it happened.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right, you're
Right,
right.
right. So it was the shooting was about to happen later that night, if you know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
So 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 I was tired, but I was so excited about the little video. So I was over here editing the video and all that, syncing it with the song, all that. So I did a 1 minute clip for IG. That's it, you know. So I do a 1 minute IG video and I posted it. And basically the video is about me at the cemetery, um, and visiting, loved ones and stuff, and pretty much walking at the cemetery. Um, and so as soon as I posted it, I went straight to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Straight to sleep.
This was around 6 p.m., right?
Oh, no, this was now a little later. This was like 10 p.m.,
Okay, okay,
almost 11. It took
okay,
me a while to put it together.
okay.
It took me a while, even just a 1 minute clip. It took me a while, you know. And so I went to sleep 11ish p.m., whatever. And when I woke up, obviously my phone was blown up, you know, blown up like never before. So I look at my phone. I don't even know how many missed calls. Um, so many messages, so many notifications on Facebook and IG. At that time, I only had IG and Facebook. Now I got TikTok. Um, but I got all these notifications, and I didn't even know where to start. The first thing on my mind was to call my little brother, who I had so many missed calls from. That's that's who's more important to me, him, than anything or whatever else, social media and all that. So I called him and I said, he answers and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "You tell me what's going on." And I'm like, "Well, what's up?" I mean, he was with me doing the shooting of the video. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I say, he said, "You tell me what's going on." "What are you talking about? I just woke up. What's going on?" He said, "Did he check your Instagram?" So as soon as he said that, I'm thinking, don't tell me our video blew up. You know what I'm saying?
that would have
I'm
been
thinking
dope.
positive things. I just posted it and he's talking about, did he see your Instagram? So I'm like, what? Did my video blow up? And I said, well, what's up? All happy, right? I'm all happy. Why? What's up? And he says, go check and call me back. And I hang up and I'm like, okay. I woke up to a bunch of missed calls and a bunch of notifications. I think my video blew up. Let me check it out.
Man, that's
Right?
crazy.
So
Shit.
I go to my IG and I check a bunch of RIPs.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what? RIP. Oh my God. Such a loss. Whoop de whoop. And I get out of IG and I go to my Facebook page, my author page, and same thing. Notifications like hell.
Yeah.
RIP. Oh my God. He passed away. I can't believe this. And I'm thinking, what what do people think that this video, just because I'm at the cemetery, it means I'm dead or what? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's a music video. What are you guys talking about? You know, I'm thinking, how did they get me being dead just because I'm at the cemetery? And you
So it's safe
understand?
to say you didn't even know the shooting had happened yet.
No,
Okay.
hell no. So, so I'm like, what the hell is going on? So finally, I start checking my messages on my phone now. And now this is when I start seeing that a bunch of pictures my brothers were sending me, a bunch of pictures of the RIP and the shooting and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, oh, people, what? There's a shooting in Sacramento. Da, 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 da. But then I'm like, what does it got to do with me?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, okay, so there's a shooting, people died. There's nobody in my music video but me. So who they RIPing?
And you
You
don't
know?
even live anywhere near that area, huh?
No, 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 no. The
No.
the video the video shooting, all of it was a combination of the cemetery, which is located in South Sacramento, as well as the church St. Rose in South
Oh,
Sacramento.
yeah, I know where it's at. Off of 65th, right?
The cemetery is on 65th,
Okay.
but the church is over here on Franklin Boulevard.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So I was pretty the whole video was shot back and forth the cemetery and the church. That's the whole video. Back and forth in. So the whole downtown K Street, all that, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with the scenes or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure this out. So that's when I realized finally I finally I see that picture that you just mentioned, the Black Lives Matter, and they
Yeah.
showed the people who were killed, and one of them was me. And that's when I said, "Oh, I, I'm supposed to have been killed."
Crazy.
And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on here? There is no way for me to even have a clue. How could I have a clue if I went to sleep working after work, if you will, um, woke up to the mess, a mess that I didn't create, a mess that I have no input in, you know? So imagine going to sleep and you wake up to supposedly you're dead and you're all over the
Yeah.
place. You're
That's what
you're
tripped me
viral.
out.
You're viral because you're dead.
That tripped
You
me out when I heard that story. I got the same thing. I was like, imagine if someone would have said Oakland Latinos United, Jose is dead. I would have been like, what the fuck?
yeah, so when I saw this, just like you asked, who started this? I wanted also to get to the bottom of this, but see, what I was not going to do is I wasn't going to start responding or commenting in the comment section of all the people that were posting it. That's just a waste of time. So
Yeah.
I let a whole day go by. I didn't say nothing, didn't respond. All the people that were messaging me asking, is this true? Is this true? I didn't respond. And the reason I didn't respond to absolutely nobody was because I was also seeing the fake love. All the fake love. Oh, he was my best friend. Da, 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 I loved him and all this. And
And you have no clue who these people are.
none,
Wow.
none. So
Wow.
So
That's crazy, bro. I'm not
no,
laughing. I'm laughing because of the situation.
no, it's hilarious the clout chasing that people do.
Yeah,
It's
man.
hilarious, man. Um, and so that's the reason when you go to my social media, I've never had pictures of me and celebrities and things like that. Not to knock anybody who does that, but
Yeah,
I'm against that because I don't want to come across the wrong way. Like uh, uh, I don't want people to think negative of me, but I'm just being honest. I feel like I see a lot of people who want to be public figures who are nobodies but want to be public figures, and so they start taking pictures with celebrities backstage and concerts and stuff like that, and they
yeah,
post them hoping that that boosts their credibility or something.
yeah. I get what you.
And I feel like, man, just being honest with you, man, I feel like I don't need anyone to boost me. I am that boost. I'm the prize here.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel. That's how
yeah.
I feel. I have so much to offer. Nobody in this world can give me validity. No one in this world could give me anything. Dude, everything that I have, all the stuff in here is all I need to
That's
be the
just
somebody that I always wanted to be.
that's just having self confidence, you know.
Sure. And so that's why I don't do all that. I don't do none of that sharing pictures with me and other celebrities and stuff because I meet people, man. I meet people. I go to, concerts and stuff like that. I do take pictures. I just don't share them. I don't share them. I like to have memories with people that I meet. But that's just for me. I'm not going to be a cloud chaser and share all that stuff. It's just not me, man.
I feel you.
It's just not me. You understand? So, whatever the case, I feel very disrespected seeing all these people do that. I feel very disrespected. So many people, man. Thousands, not even hundreds, thousands of people with their fake love. And I'm glad I got to see that and experience that because it allowed me to understand what's going to happen after I'm dead, when I'm really dead.
Yeah, yeah,
So it gave me a glimpse. And you know what it did was prove that I'm right. You see, when you die, people are finally going to appreciate you for what you know you are.
yeah.
Look at how much they're praising you for all that you stand for. Look at them. Look at that. Look at all this. And it's only after you've died. So it only verified that I'm right. I said, see, you're right. Keep doing your thing. Because don't worry what happens while you're alive. You know now what's gonna happen after you die.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
So me being famous and all that celebrity status while I'm alive, whether it happens or not, I don't even care because now I know what's gonna happen after I die. And that's more important to leave something here that is great, greater than I, greater than my own existence. My existence is temporary, but what
hmm,
am I leaving that's permanent? And I realized that I am going to do that. I am going to have that kind of effect, kind of impact. And so
yeah,
that gave me a lot of comfort. That gave me a lot of comfort. It verified something that I needed verification on. So, whatever the case, but it also insulted me to see so much fake love.
yeah,
You understand? Um, and that was the primary reason why I decided not to address anybody, to comment, to do nothing. So finally, when I felt ready, I went ahead and did the live stream. And that live stream, it caught some fire. It caught some fire. It might have taken a whole day to catch fire, but it caught fire. And when it did, I got reached. I was reached out by by two news stations, which was Fox News, of course, the first
mhm,
one. And as soon as I did Fox News and they aired it, Telemundo reached out too. So I I went to Telemundo too, and I only mentioned these names, Fox News and Telemundo, because it's already public info that I was there.
yeah,
However, there was I'm not going to name the name, but it was a very famous, the most, in my opinion, the most famous hip hop YouTube channel to this day reached out to me as well to come do, and I said no. And here's the reason why I said no.
Mm,
Because the reason why I went to Fox News is because I wanted to get the truth out in English. The reason why I said yes to Telemundo is because I wanted to get the truth out in Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
After you do this, everything else you do from here on, you're also clout chasing, Ricardo. You understand? I'm not that way. I'm
Yeah.
not that way. So if I go to Vlad TV, oh, if I go to whatever, if I go to whatever, it's
Yeah.
just cloud chasing at this point. Now you're milking it.
Yeah.
Now I'm milking this situation where real people are suffering,
Yeah.
but you are milking it. You are finding opportunity to come up on. That's not who I am, dude.
I feel you.
That's not who I am. So the only reasons why I went to these two, I got to get the truth out in English and in Spanish. After that, I'm backing off. All these other people reaching out to me, I said no. Oh, you don't want to get the truth out? It's already there in English and in Spanish. Everything else is clout. You get me?
Yeah.
So, so
So, how, just to break it down a little bit. So, how did this rumor start? I mean, you don't have to say names, but how did it start?
okay, so I did some researching. I did some digging around, and I found out who it was.
Mm.
Now, I'm not gonna mention the individual.
Yeah.
Um, it was somebody that had no idea who I was.
Mm.
She didn't even follow me on my page or anything like that.
Oh, the
Uh,
female.
it was a female.
Oh, okay.
Uh, it was a black chick, from what I could tell, that lived in Oak Park.
Mm.
Now, why did she? I have no idea. I just know that she was responsible for being the first to put that false info out. And after she was told that this is fake, she apologized and she reached out to me and said, I'm sorry. And so I said, don't worry about it. You were misled by whatever it is that you were misled by. Just do your part in saying this was fake. And that's all you have to do. And she did. She
Mm.
posted, hey, I'm sorry, Ricardo. I'm in touch with him. This is not true. I'm very sorry. I was misinformed, etc. I said, okay, that's it. Don't worry about it. But how she got this false info, I don't know.
Wow.
But I know that she was the starter of it.
Wow, that's crazy.
She was a starter of it. I don't know how or why.
So,
Why me? No idea, man.
so just a random girl that
A
just
random girl that I
wow.
never knew existed.
That's even more trippier.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I thought it was maybe someone you knew had a vendetta against you, didn't like you.
But see, with that said, where this girl got the false news,
Yeah. Who knows? Huh?
it could have been, as you say, somebody with ill intention,
Yeah.
whatever. You don't know. We don't know that, and I won't know because it doesn't matter at this point anymore. It's whatever, you know.
It's water under the bridge, basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened. I mean, ultimately, that's what happened. And
So I'm coming up on 2 hours. I'm probably gonna get off soon,
okay,
but it's been a good interview. I mean, shit, normally my interviews are shorter, but this has been pretty good. We had a lot to talk about.
I talk a lot.
Me too. We both do. I've actually just been quiet because I've been listening to you and letting you talk because this is your interview, not mine. So, but if
Yeah,
you ever want to do an interview about my life and why I do what I do, if you ever want to have me on your channel
let's go.
on that type of issue, let me know.
Yeah, sure.
But I want to leave it off before probably talk for like 10 more minutes, and I want to leave it off on what we talked about the other night and some of your videos that I've been watching you. And by the way, if you guys haven't yet, you guys have to subscribe to his let him know what the name of your podcast.
My podcast on YouTube is called I Question Everything Podcast. It's just one word, no spaces in between. Just like that. I Question Everything Podcast.
And I question everything podcast together. Be sure to let me hold on. Let me pull it up real quick, like I could put in the link. Give me a
All right.
quick second. We'll take a little break.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been pretty good so far. Hopefully, you're having a good time, bro. And hopefully, you like being on my channel.
Yeah. It was fun. You came in with the questions.
For sure.
You came in.
Oops, I spelled it wrong. Sorry.
But the way that I got into music, to rap music specifically,
Mm-hmm.
um, I didn't start listening to rap until I was around 14, 15, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
And when I started listening to it, it was culture shock. Um, because I grew up on oldies and on 80s pop, 80s wave, new wave, psychedelic music. And that's what I grew up on. Um, Due to my mom, that's what she listened to. 80s, um, the Bee Gees, you know,
Yeah.
all that stuff, Spandau Ballet, all that stuff. And so I grew up on that kind of stuff, and that was the music that I listened to. However, when I was in the eighth grade, ninth grade, my friend gave me a cassette tape. It was a mixtape full of rappers, and I popped it in my little Walkman. And the first song I ever heard was Redman. The
Mm.
song is called "I Be That." I'll be that. I'll be that. My first name. Okay. So when I heard this, you have to understand, I was raised on music that was love music, ballads.
Yeah.
And now I'm over here listening to the opposite, hating women, calling them the B word, and things of that nature. It was complete culture shock to hear so much profanity. And it was so shocking that it was appealing. And so I found myself reciting these rhymes, singing along, rapping along. And it wasn't that long after that I was writing rap songs, and mostly mimicking their rhymes, but putting them in my own structure, in my own way. But my influences initially were Method Man, Redman, um, you know, Naughty by Nature, um, Old Dirty Bastard, those kind of rappers.
Yeah.
That's what my friend, the mixtape that he gave. Those are the artists.
Yeah. Yeah. For
So
sure.
that's what influenced me inevitably.
Mm.
So so because these type of rappers influenced me, I found myself writing songs in that style. You know.
Yeah.
So
With me,
yeah, man.
it was the opposite. I actually grew up on rap since I was a kid, and that was mainly because I had older brothers and sisters,
I
and
was the
they
oldest.
they used to bump like yeah. 'Cause I'm 45. You could imagine how old my brothers and sisters are almost 60. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
oh, okay.
they're older than me, and
hmm
they were the ones bumping. Run DMC, the
Oh,
Fat Boys,
wow.
Grandmaster Flash. So I grew up on that, the Beastie
Mm,
Boys. And to me, it was a cultural shock even within rap when NWA and all that started coming out, and
hmm
Big Chiz and Hold and
hmm
Fuck
hmm
This, and then Too Short came out in Oakland. You know what I mean? Freaky Tales and all that. It was something new. You know what I mean? It was something different for sure. But basically, I wanted to talk about. So I've been watching your videos on your podcast lately, and I've seen almost all of them. And there's been a lot of talk about.
Oh, wait.
Hmm?
Our episode is coming up tomorrow, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Be sure to check that out tomorrow. But we talked about you talked about with some of your other guests. You talked, I believe, with an African American gentleman. You talked to a couple of Rasa ladies, and I know you talked to a black girl who I think was from Africa, I believe.
hmm
And there's been a lot of talk about how there's racism and internalized racism within the Rasa or Mexican community, and and I hear that a lot, that Rasa's anti-black and stuff like that. But I feel like at the same time there is also discrimination from some black people against Rasa as well. And I believe, before you answer anything, I believe definitely the racism within our community should be checked and should be, called out. I don't disagree with that. But I think even on the other side, it should be called out by their community as well. And there has to be a mutual respect if we're going to get along in any way whatsoever, period. And
Mhm.
that's just my outtake on it. That might not be what you agree with, but that's just how I personally feel. Like there has to be a mutual respect between Black and Rasa. And and that only happens when both communities have respect of each other. And the Rasa community, we grew up on I don't give a shit what a racist Mexican says. I'll tell him to fuck off, bro. We grew up on black culture for
Mhm.
sure. I don't disagree with that. And even within our own culture, there's African influences in Latin America, in Mexico, in many countries. We can't deny that, and we can't act like that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So we have to respect the fact that there is African ancestry within us in some ways. Even you told me that you have African ancestry in your DNA. I never took a DNA test, but if I were to have African ancestry, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever because I know the history of Latin America. I know the history of colonialism and who the Spaniards brought and who the Spaniards colonized. And I just feel my thing is, yes, we can say that Mexicans are anti-black and all that till our lungs are hurting, but
Mhm.
we have to also address things like in the black community, like paleteros being attacked. Uh, you know, some black people, fucking wetbacks, fucking Mex. I've heard this, bro, with my own ears. You know what I mean? And we have to address it. There has to be a mutual respect. Like I said, I grew up in Oakland. I grew up in one of the most blackest cities in Northern California. So I grew up around black people. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly within their community and my community as well. And that's just how I feel. And I just wanted to leave it at that. And as far as like interracial dating, we talked on that a little bit. And I've told you that I've dated a lot of black girls, especially maybe the last 15 years. I've dated quite a few of them, and I was always attracted to black girls. I always thought they were nice. And
Mhm.
that's not to say I don't like Rasa females. That's not to say I don't like other females because I've dated Rasa females, and dated white girls. And like I said, I was in a 10-year relationship with an Indian girl from India. So you know, uh, I don't discriminate when it comes to females at all. And I have no problem if Rasa dates blacks or dates anybody else. It's none of my business who you date. I always say it, if it's a midget and you're happy, you're happy. You feel
Yeah.
me? And that's how it is.
Mhm.
So, what's your take on what I just said?
Okay. I don't disagree with the point that you're trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
However, however, I don't feel like it is my place or the place of Mexicans, or like you call them, raza.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's our place to tell another race how to fix their problems, and if they have problems, how to go about them, or you should address them, etc. I think my place as a Mexican, as a raza, as you call me, um, my place is to address our issues. And if other people of other cultures, of other ethnicities, feel like uh, them seeing us address our internal issues, it may inspire them to also address their issues that are similar to ours, which stem from colorism, from internalized racism.
And
Um,
which exist in both
of
communities.
course.
Yeah.
So, so, I feel you. I just don't think it's my place to tell other people what they should address, what they shouldn't. Should they take responsibility, accountability for the things that they do or not? That's really none of my business. My
I can agree.
business, my business is to fix us. Whether other people fix themselves or not, well, that's really none of my business. It's just I find it a problem that we are raised culturally racist, culturally colorist, and I'm just not here to tell other people what to do, what to acknowledge, what not to acknowledge, what to address, what not to address about themselves, etc. I don't think that's our place. Um, yes, I see it in the comment section. A lot of Mexicans, oh, but black people this and black people that. I was like, okay, sure, but let's focus on our issues. We got plenty.
Yeah.
We got plenty. I'm by no means religions. I'm not. I'm by no means religious. Um,
Neither am I.
However, there's a quote that I'm going to paraphrase in the Bible where it says, I'm paraphrasing, before you wipe the dirt off of somebody's or try to wipe the dirt off of somebody's eye, make sure that you wipe yours off too. Meaning, before you try to tell somebody that they're blind, make sure you aren't blind first.
Yeah.
So, in this particular case, how that applies here is we're blind. We're in the state of blindness. So, before we try to tell the people, hey, you're blind, look, wipe that, we need to first fix ourselves. um and like I said, and if other people seeing us work on our issues, if that inspires them to also do the same, great, great. But what I will not do is try to address other people. It's just not my place.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I get it. I can respect that. I don't try to tell anybody how to run their thing. I just say there just has to be a mutual respect. That's all, and that's it. I'll just leave it at that. That's just
and,
kind of my take on it.
and you know what though, Jose? And with that said, also, with that said, man, I don't preach either. I
Yeah.
don't like the content that I put out. It's not even preaching. It's literally
Yeah, I know. I get
dialogue.
that.
It's dialogue between two people, and I allow people to get what they want from it.
Yeah, and I
If-
respect that. Kind of like when you said you don't like the word Latino, and I
right.
use the word Latino, and you said I respect why you use it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you use it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't come at me like, oh, you should be ashamed.
No.
Which like some people have came at me like
Yeah.
that before.
I don't
Yes.
preach.
So
I don't
that's why.
preach.
Yeah, I don't preach either, bro. I used to. I used to be what you call an SJW a long time ago, and those days are past me, bro.
Yeah, I don't preach. I don't try to tell people, even our people. I don't try to tell them anything. My content, if you pay attention, is literally me sharing dialogue between I and the other individual,
Yeah,
and the comment section, let it be what it's gonna be. Just like the video that you and I did that's gonna premiere tomorrow. It's not me preaching to you. It's not
yeah.
me preaching to me. It's us sharing our experiences, and that's all it is.
And one thing I respected you said the other day, and I feel exactly the same way. You said that you'll never tell someone like if someone wants to only date raza, you can respect that. And you're not going to tell them, "Oh, you're racist for not trying something else." I'm
No.
the same way. I would never tell no one, "Don't date this, don't date that." It's none of my business who you date, and don't tell me who I could date. You know what I mean? Respect who I'm dating. If unless I'm dating someone that's very toxic and you could see it, maybe you could tell me. But if it's someone that I'm happy with, regardless of what color she might be or what culture she comes from, if I'm happy and respect that, and that's period how I feel. I don't down a white person, a black person, or a raza person, or indigenous person who wants to stick indigenous, wants to stay black, wants to stay white. Cool. I have no problem. I could care less. Just don't tell me who I can date. Don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about who's in my bed. That's period. That's my take on interracial dating in a way.
Yeah. It's not racist to want to stick to your own.
Yeah, yeah. I
Nothing
don't
racist
feel it
about
is.
it. Nothing negative. There's nothing, absolutely nothing negative about a Mexican saying I only date my Mexicans. What's wrong with it? Nobody should be obligated to date everybody else just to prove that you're not
Yeah,
racist.
no,
That's
hell
so
no.
that's stupid.
That is
That's
stupid.
stupid.
I
We are
respect.
attracted to what we're attracted to, and that's period. No one should be obligated to date outside of their race to prove something. There should be nothing to prove, We
Yeah,
can't help who we are attracted to, and we can't help who we fall in love with.
it's like I told you. The reason why I started dating outside of my race was because I felt that I was limiting myself because I was meeting a lot of females and I wasn't giving them a chance. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna start giving them a chance just to see how it is. And I liked it. And I started vibing sometimes with these girls that were of other cultures more than even my own
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, and it's not that I hate raza or Latina or indigenous. Nah, it's not that, bro. It's just I vibed with them and they were there for me. And I was like, cool, okay. Cool. Like I said, I was in a relationship for 10 years with an Indian girl. Indians are a completely different culture altogether from me, bro. But she loved me and she was there for me through thick and thin. She sexually gratified me in more ways than one and a lot of things, bro. So, I was happy, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And no one could tell me any differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just how I feel. That's just my take on it. It's not that I have fetishes or anything. Nah, it's just I guess I like females,
Yeah.
and it don't matter what color they are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's
I'm
just
with you.
that's just how I am.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at, bro. So be sure to check out Ricardo Ignacio on IG. I put the IG and his Facebook in the description. I also put his I haven't put it yet, but I'm gonna put his sound not SoundCloud, his what's the one
Spotify. Spotify. Oh,
Spotify,
okay. Yeah.
and
Okay.
also his be sure to check out I Question Everything podcast. He's making a lot of videos out there. Oh yeah, one little thing I want to leave off I forgot. So when I don't know if you knew this, I'm the oldest Chicano raza indigenous YouTuber. Period, bro. I'm the oldest one still around.
I
I
noticed that.
I've been around since 2007, bro.
I literally noticed that 2 nights ago. I was going through your stuff, through your
Okay,
content, and I said, "Whoa, how far does this guy go?
yeah,
You go far."
yeah, and the reason I started again, just like how I started Oakland Latinos United, I started it because at the time I got inspired by African American YouTubers, bro. I
Okay.
would watch their videos and their content. I was like, wow, these videos are dope. They're talking
Mm-hmm.
about their community. They're
Mm-hmm.
talking about what's going on, and I was like, God, I wonder if there's Chicanos or Raza doing this. And I looked around and nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to start this because I wanted to put a Chicano's perspective on it. And that's how I started. And it took a long time for Raza to really wake up to YouTube. And then I would say the last 5 years, guys like American Cholo and various others started coming up. And but the problem with these guys is that a lot of these and I'm not talking down on people that live this lifestyle, but a lot of them were ex gangbangers, ex cholos, ex prisoner guys, ex prison gang guys, and some of them had dropped out of their gang, so they have that hanging over them, and some of these guys started very positive, bro, but some of them now are going into dramas, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see new Chicano channels glorifying gangbanging now. Before you didn't really see it, now you're starting to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's become a mess, bro. So seeing someone like you on YouTube is a sign of relief, bro, for reals.
Okay.
And I'm saying that for reals, bro. I'm not even lying when I tell you this, bro. Seeing someone talking about a different message and a different perspective that's not about gangs or prison or drama, it's a sigh of relief, bro. Because I look at a lot of the stuff going on right now with what I would call Chicano YouTube, bro, and I don't like what I see, bro.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't like
about
what I see.
glorifying self destruction.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah. I mean, the only one that's kept it okay is American Cholo. I'll give him that. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he's probably one of the bigger YouTubers now.
Okay.
Rasa. He's from Southern California, but
Okay.
still, again, he wants to be a Rasa spokesman, but
Uh-huh.
he still kind of carries those gang LA gang mentality a little bit, and that I think that's what hinders him to a degree.
Yeah. One thing I don't want to be is a spokesman of anything but myself.
Exactly, exactly.
By
It's like
myself.
me. I've made no secrets about it. Yes, I grew up around norteños. I had families who were in that movement. So for years, people have tried to associate me with that, and I'm like, no, I'm not a norteño. I'm not a gangbanger of any type. I grew up around it. Yes, I don't make that a secret, but I'm not affiliated to that, and I say that because I don't want it to hinder my progress as a YouTuber, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and as what I'm trying to put out there. I'm just trying to put a cool message, and I'm trying to put excellence within our community, and like you said, bring awareness of the bad and the good in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm trying to do, bro. I'm not trying to be a big star or nothing like. I just want people to hear me out, and that's it.
I feel it.
Yeah,
Feel
man.
it.
So, any last words, bro, before I get off?
Thank you. Just thank you, man, for inviting me over here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let everybody know down there how they could get a hold of you.
So tomorrow when I wake up, I want to see more listeners on my Spotify. First things first.
Hold on, let
No.
me hold on. Do you
Thank you.
put the link to your Spotify in the comments?
I think you put it there. I
Hold
think
on.
you put it there already. I'm not sure.
Let
But
me,
anyway, Instagram, Ricardo Ignacio, or specifically __ Ricardo _Ignacio __. My Facebook, if you type in Ricardo Ignacio author, it will pop up. That's where I have the most following. My TikTok is Ricardo _Ignacio _916. That's all. My obviously my YouTube is I Question Everything podcast, and there's where I have my full content. On TikTok and my Facebook, I have clips of my
okay.
content, but on YouTube, on the I Question Everything podcast, is what I have the whole episodes and stuff.
Okay. I'm actually put your in the introduction of this video. You'll see it. I'm gonna put the Spotify in there. I
All right.
put your IG and I put your Facebook in there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Be sure to check out Ricardo Ignacio out there from the big 916 Sacra.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. If you're ever in Oakland, bro, don't be afraid to hit me up, bro. I'll be glad to show you around, man.
Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's do
For
that.
sure.
All
You
right.
never been to Lake Merritt?
I've only been to Oakland to watch the Raiders play
Uh,
the Seahawks.
you never been through the city?
No, no.
You gotta come check out the city one day with me, bro. It's cool out here,
I've only went to watch games. That's it.
bro. We got the best taco trucks in Northern California, and I stick by that, bro. Oakland,
Uh,
I stick by that, bro.
uh,
I know there's a lot of pride, but I stick by that, bro.
okay. Okay.
Like if I
Well,
took you to Oakland, bro, there's a taco truck on every single corner of the
yeah.
city.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's becoming like that over here too. It's
yeah,
becoming like that.
yeah. Because when I lived there, you guys didn't have taco trucks.
Nah, no,
Nah, no, when I lived there,
it's
we
coming.
had them even back in the '80s. We had them,
Hmm.
and
It's coming.
you know my barrio. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Fruitvale.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from, bro.
Okay.
Fruitvale is like kind of like the Franklin Road of Oakland. A
Hmm.
lot bigger though, a lot bigger, a lot more busier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like you could say like a East LA or a Mission District or like a East Side San Jose kind of just a barrio, bro. Where I'm from, it looks like
Yeah.
Little Tijuana.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever out this way, bro, I'm gonna show you around, bro.
We'll link up. We'll link up. We'll link up
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna ask you, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant in Sacramento?
Tony's Tacos. My
Tony.
homie
Oh
owns
yeah,
that.
you used to post about that place.
My homie owns that place. I
Okay.
promote it. Yeah, one of my latest videos on IG is showing me purchasing from his taco truck because he's got a taco truck and he's got a restaurant. They're both called Tony's Tacos. So
Where's the
Tony's
restaurant
Tacos,
located?
um, the taco truck is located on Stockton Boulevard,
Okay,
and
I know where Stockton Boulevard is.
the restaurant is located down Power Inn.
Oh, I know where. I used to live by Power Inn. You
Okay,
know where Power Inn and Fruit Ridge is?
of course.
Yeah, I used to live in that area when I lived out there.
Okay.
Okay, I'll check it out next time I'm in Sacramento.
All right, let's get out of here, man. I gotta go.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Alrighty. Thank you, man.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Late.
All right.
All right, y'all. So that was the interview with Ricardo Ignacio. Let me know how you guys liked it. leave a like, leave a like, subscribe, donate a super chat, donate to the Cash App. You feel me? Give me a quick second. So how did everybody like it? Let me know what you guys think about the interview. Did you guys like it? Was it interesting? You feel me? Leave a leave a little leave a little leave a little just donation to the Cash App or a super chat if you want. But yeah, man. So that was a interview with Ricardo Ignacio, and we had a pretty long live. Fuck, we talked for 2 hours straight, which is cool. And hopefully you guys liked it. Be sure to check out his I Question Everything podcast. I got links to his IG and Facebook, and I'm also gonna link his rap music also down there. I'm gonna do it when I'm done, and yeah, be sure to check him out. Glad he came on. I've been wanting to have him on the show for quite a while, so I'm glad he finally decided to come on and check out his video, his channel, because an interview I did with him is gonna come out. He said tomorrow, so we'll check that out. So everybody out there, like I said, press the like, subscribe. You feel me? I don't question everything. I question every single thing in life, son. But yeah, man, be sure to like, subscribe, let people know about the video. Nah, this dude is a lot more chill than him. All right, cut. So say, all right, Danny Martinez. I question his entire story. So Sneaky Beanie, Shortcuts. We have Northbound. We have Harvey Nessie. We had Timo. We had a few other cats on here. We had a homie from the town. What's his name? Rasa Business was on here. This dude, Gabriel Interiano. Mike Wallace, that's who it is. Mike Wallace from the town. So yeah, man. So yeah, I'm about to get off. I'm actually gonna probably go to sleep in a little while. I've kind of been going to sleep early again. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to donate to the Cash App. Help us out and let people know about this video. And I will talk to you guys later. You guys be safe. All right, y'all. Late.